Find the answer of these questions. This is, as we said before, here you have positive 13 and positive 7. 13 plus 7, for sure it's 20. Same 13 and same 7, but here you have a negative sign and negative sign. If this one is 20, so for sure this one will be negative 20. Now, what if we need to find the answer of two numbers with different signs? One is negative and one is positive. Or like this one, here you have positive 13 and negative 7. How you can find the answer of these ones? If they are different, like this, we subtract. They are different. They are not the same. So subtract. What's 13 minus 7? Generally, it's 6. And here also, what's 13 minus 7? It's for sure 6. Let's know the sign. Take care and put the difference between the operation and the sign. Here the operation is subtraction. What about the sign? The sign will be the same as the largest number. Here you have 13, here you have 7. This is for sure more than 7. Its sign is negative, so the answer is negative. Why? You can understand this using number line, as we said before. Here you have 0. Let's jump to negative 13. If you need to add 7, it means you will go to the right side. If you move 7 steps to the right, you will not reach 0, as we add 7 to negative 13, which is less than 13 steps. So that's why the answer is still negative, as the negative number here more than the positive one. But when you compare between them, we don't compare 13 as it's negative. We compare it as steps. We have 13 steps to the left and 7 steps to the right. Which is more steps? 13 to the left. So that means we move to the negative direction more than the positive one. So the answer must be negative. Let's solve this. 13 plus negative 7. Here, it's the same as 13 minus 7, which is 6, the answer of this question. Now, we need to know another way also to solve such a question. We need to talk about something called absolute value. Absolute value of 7 is positive 7. Absolute value of negative 7 also positive 7. Why? Absolute value, it's talking about the distance we move. For example, if you have here 0 and you move to positive 7, how many steps you move? Just 7. Okay, what if you start from here, but now you move to negative 7? How many steps you move? When talking about distance or how many steps we move, you have to say the answer in positive number. So we move 7 steps. The distance, you can use absolute values. So absolute value of 7 is positive 7. Absolute value of negative 7 also is positive 7. The same as for 13. The absolute of 13 is positive 13. And absolute value of negative 13 also is positive 13. It means we move 13 steps, whatever the direction, if it's positive or negative. Now this will help us to find the answer of these questions. As you remember, 13 plus 7, it's 20. Negative 13 and negative 7, so it's negative 20. Question number 3, we have 7 and negative 13, and the question was negative 13 plus 7. So we move to the left direction more than the positive one. Again, we move the negative direction more than the positive one. So the answer must be negative. And subtract them as they have different signs. For the last one, it was 13 plus negative 7. They are different, so we subtract. It will be 6, and the sign. Here we have positive 13. We move to the right, positive 13. We move 13 steps, and we move 7 steps to the left. Here we have 13 more than 7. We move to the right more than to the left, so the answer must be positive. And after putting positive, it will be 6. You didn't try to need positive 6, it's just 6 only. Here we have negative 6 plus 14. The two numbers have different signs, as you can see. This is negative, this is positive. We find that you move negative 6, it means to the left direction, and positive 14 to the right direction. Which direction you move more? Positive, so the answer must be positive. And because they are different directions, we subtract. What's 14 minus 6? 8. So the answer must be positive 8. Now, for this one, negative 6 plus negative 14. This is negative direction, or left direction, and this is also left direction. If we have the same direction, so we just add them. 6 plus 14, which is 20. And as we move to the negative direction in the two numbers, so the answer must be negative. So the answer is negative 20. Now 6 plus 14, for sure, this is 20. It's very easy to find. And number 4, 6 plus negative 14. Now we have positive 6, which is the right direction, and negative 14, which is the left direction. Now they are different directions, so you have to subtract. What's 14 minus 6? It's 8. And you move to the left direction more than the positive one, or more than the right one. So the answer must be negative, so the answer is negative 8. Now let's talk about some properties of addition. When you add two integers, the answer must be integer. This is the property number 1. It's called closure property. Property number 2, when you add a and b, you can add b and a. For example, if you have 3 plus 2, you can make it as 2 plus 3, or with negative numbers. If you have negative 2 plus 5, you can switch them, so 5 plus negative 2. This is called commutative. Number 3, it's called associative. If you have 3 numbers, you need to add them. You can start with the first 2, like a plus b, then leave c at the end, or you can start with the last 2 and leave a at the end. Number 4, we need to talk about the existence of an additive identity. Additive identity, it means addition without any changing. So, for example, if you have a and you need to add a number without changing to a, you need to add 0. So a plus 0, for sure it will be a. This is called additive identity. Number 5, we have additive inverse. Additive inverse, it means you add the inverse of the numbers. So, for example, if you have here 5, its inverse is negative 5. 5 plus negative 5 must be equal to 0. However, if you change or switch the order, it's okay. Negative 5 plus 5 must be 0.
تقدر تتابع كل دروسك على تطبيق مدرستنا بلس. مدرستنا، المستقبل يبدأ الآن.